Magandang araw, my dear classmates, and to our Professor Dr. Alanita G. Cuenca. I hope that everyone is doing well and productive today. My name is Larisbin Espadarizo, and I will be your reporter for the topic Ethical Issues in Education, Barriers to Learning in Schools. There are a number of ethical issues in education that can be addressed and fixed in time. As students and teachers both are often associated very closely with such ethical issues in schools. Some of these are because of their direct involvement, while others may be a consequence of how the educational system is laid out. With this, my group and I will be discussing some of the most common ethical issues in education, and here's mine. Ethical issues in education, barriers to learning in schools, social inequity, and special treatment. But before we start, let me share to you our objectives for today. First is we have to explore the ethical issues of bias and diversity in education. And second, advocate for the integration of culturally responsive teaching practices to address ethical concern related to bias and diversity in education. Student diversity presents a range of ethical issues in education that educators and institutions must navigate. In this picture, you will see how one classroom can be. Some of the most common ethical issues in education is social inequity, cheating, social diversity, and special treatment, grading exams, and many more. Navigating these ethical issues requires ongoing awareness, professional development, and a commitment to creating inclusive and equitable learning environment for all students. Teachers are responsible for dealing with diverse students because education is not a one-size-fits-all endeavor. Each student comes from a unique background, possesses different abilities, learning styles, and needs. Handling a diverse group of students with varying personalities and background is both a challenging and rewarding aspect of teaching. Remember that building a positive classroom environment and effectively managing diverse personalities and background takes time and continuous effort. Being open-minded, empathetic, and adaptable will go a long way in creating a supportive and enriching learning experience for all our students. Social inequity. One of the biggest ethical issues that schools face is social inequity. Education institutions often fail to address the problems that arise thanks to the inequalities between different children because of their economic, ethnic, and other family backgrounds. A child from poorer background who may not have enough food or enough time to be an active kid at home will likely have much more difficult time in school than someone from the opposing end of the spectrum. School administration often punish these children for having bad academic performance instead of being offered assistance in an alternative fashion. Social inequity refers to the unequal distribution of resources, opportunities, and privileges among individuals or groups based on factors such as race, socioeconomic status, gender, ethnicity, and more. In the context of education, social inequity can lead to disparities in education outcomes and opportunities. Students from disadvantaged backgrounds often face greater challenges in accessing quality of education, which can perpetuate cycles of poverty and limit their potential. Remember that addressing social inequity in education is an ongoing process that requires continuous evaluation and adoption of strategies to meet evolving needs of students and society. It's important to involve all relevant stakeholders and work collaboratively to create lasting change. Special treatment. Whether because of something as simple as personal preference or something as problematic as racial inequality, a special treatment for some is one of the prime ethics-related obstacles students face. Teachers often grade students differently based on how much they like them. Well, that's not good. Principals might treat athletes better so that their parents keep donating. And teachers might give such student better grades so the student keep playing. This is one of the biggest ethical issues that need to be addressed by every educational institution. Discipline policies can be run into array of ethical issues, example of which can be found in the policies that strive to be absolute. When it comes to employing a zero tolerance or second chance policy, things can get a little complicated. Neither of these can be utilized in every situation. A teacher may be empowered to use one of the other depending on the situation. A zero-tolerance policy can be useful when it comes to issues like bullying or racial issues in school, whereas the second trans policy can be used to help students improve their academic performance. Special treatment, also known as favoritism or preferential treatment, occurs when certain individuals or groups receive advantages or benefits over others without valid reasons. In an education setting, this can manifest in various ways. Students from marginalized groups might face discrimination due to their background, leading to unequal treatment and limited opportunities. This can hinder the ability to learn and succeed. For bullying and harassment, inequalities in power dynamic can lead to bullying and harassment, creating a hostile learning environment for certain students. For grade inflation, offering higher grades or easier assignment to certain students based on personal relationship or other non-academic factors undermines the integrity of the educational system. To address social inequity and special treatment in education, schools and educational systems should implement and enforce anti-discrimination policies, provide equal access to resources, supporting services, and opportunities, and offer diversity and sensitivity training for teachers and staff. Create a curriculum that represents diverse perspectives and experiences. Promote a culture of inclusivity, empathy, and respect by recognizing and actively working to eliminate social inequities and special treatment. Educational institutions can foster a more just and equitable learning environment that enables all students to thrive. And that ends my video presentation for my topic ethical issues in education, barriers to learning in school, social inequity, and special treatment. And I hope you learned something new today. Here are my 3 assessment questions and my additional supplementary video to better understand this topic. Thank you for watching. Please click like, share, and subscribe and hit the notification bell to be updated with my next video. Thank you so much.
Educational inequality is probably more than anything else the fundamental root of broader inequality. If we look at inequality in access to particular careers, inequality in income and wealth, inequality in the nature of political participation, all those things are mitigated by equalizing the skills that education produces, not only the academic skills, but the dispositions, the frames of minds, the conscientiousness, the diligence, the sense of agency. And so I think there is nothing more important we could do to produce the type of society we want than to raise outcomes in the field of education so that knowing somebody's race or ethnicity tells you nothing at all about what their test scores or grades or occupation might be.
Boston is a place where I think we are a national leader on many educational fronts, but the story is really that we're not doing everything that we want to be doing. We aren't delivering on all of the outcomes that we want to deliver, and it's really an educational equity issue. So we do see the disparities by gender and by race in educational outcomes in Boston, and if we're really going to get to for all results, which is where Boston wants to get, we've got to dig in on educational equity issues.
There's not just one challenge to face when we talk about achievement gaps. Even if we just talk about racial achievement gaps, we have students of color in high-income suburban districts that are lagging their white classmates. We have inner-city school districts that are high poverty, have a difficult time attracting teachers. So the work that needs to happen is to figure out how in each of these contexts we can make the changes that are necessary to produce the excellence to which we aspire. There are needs that kids in inner cities have that people in upper income suburbs never even imagine. But the most effective schools and teachers in the inner city adapt to those needs. They meet the kids where they are. They establish person-environment fit for these kids as they pass through the school. And if we can do that at some greater scale, it truly is plausible that we can have much less poverty in the next generations, and that we can have the society with regard to race that we want in the future. Achievement gaps by race, gender, and socioeconomic status are stark in the national data by the age of 2. So we can't wait till school starts. There's an initiative we've just launched in Boston called the Boston Basics, where we've got 5 basic ideas about early childhood parenting, 5 propositions that we want everybody in the city to know. We're saturating the city with what young parents of young children need to know in order that their kids don't fall behind by the age of 2. It's not just about giving them information, it's about building that niche of social support around them so that they know that the grandparents and the relatives and the minister and the barber all know this is important and that they are being supported to do these things. You can do it with materials that are already in the house, and there's nothing in here that is particular to any particular racial, ethnic, or socioeconomic group. This is human stuff. This is stuff that everybody in the community can benefit from. Second thing that excites me these days is the youth culture piece of it. Schools have 2 curricula. They have the curricula the teachers teach and the ones the kids teach. Part of what we're picking up is a lot of the misbehavior is instances where kids are doing things they don't even want to do. They're just trying to fit in. And so the idea of intervening into the youth culture and helping kids to develop the culture they really want in their school. They've already got the right values. They don't have the social opportunities to live out those values.
You just have to help students want to help each other.
So it takes student leadership to give people permission even to say what they would think is cool. So are you a student leader?
I tried.
You try to be? Well, how plausible is it that you could organize a project at the school where you would get students to talk honestly about the way they really want it to be? Because if you could, we can tell your story. You can help other people at other places. There's no choice but to try to make the things happen that we know need to happen, because it's too scary what would happen if they don't happen. These days are so reminiscent of the 60s and early 70s. All those issues are coming back. There was a period where you thought we'd gotten over that, but there are enough instances where people have produced lots of progress in inner city schools to think that if we really want to do it, if we really have the political will to make it happen, we can. It's our generational responsibility to work on it, no matter whether we're optimistic or pessimistic.